I think was, the most impressive thing was the hard work put in by our marketing people and our administration, and to have the whole full marching 110 there, and the ozone in the capacity that they were here was just outstanding. I think it was a high major basketball game from the environment standpoint, and obviously I think on our team we probably got caught up a little bit in the emotion of it in the first half, but I said this last week and I'll say it every time. I'm always interested in the response. And what I was proud of in the second half, we started playing the game the way we have been playing it, guarded the way we were capable of guarding, and took control of the pace of the game. So, as I told the basketball team, there's a lot we'll learn from this, but at the end of the day, the only thing you want to do after one game is be 1-0. So it's the best way to learn.
Hey, Nick, talk a little bit about the atmosphere at the start. Was that part of the issue in the first half for you guys?
Yeah.
A lot of noise, a lot of people, and working your way through that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's only normal. First game of the season in front of your home fans, predicted to be a sellout. Like I said, I think it's only normal to get kind of caught up in the emotion and just kind of, forget about the fundamentals and X's and O's and just kind of feed off the hype. But I think we did a better job in the second half of kind of settling down and getting back to our game.
What did you guys talk about at halftime, specifically, I guess, on the defensive end, where you guys were terrific after the break?
Like I said, just settle down. I think we needed to do that on both ends of the floor and get back to what we knew we were capable of doing, get back to the fundamentals, getting scores, stop scores, and I think we did a really good job of that to come out in the second half.
After the break, only 4 turnovers, 8 in the first half. Do you think that was the difference there, just settling down, whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. Just making the right plays, doing what we can do. I think all the guys did a good job of playing their roles in the second half. Just kind of slowing down, getting a feel for the game, and doing what we can do.
And Coach, as far as fundamentals go, in the first half, do you think it was a matter of poor shot selection? Or
No, I think it was the first game of the year. I mean, again, this is college basketball. We're dealing with college kids. So, again, I think the most important thing for our team is that they don't see panic. You have to believe and have confidence in them. There's not going to be a perfect game out here. I think everybody expects it. You're going to be in for a rude awakening. It's college basketball. So I think that I was more disappointed in the fundamentals on defense than I was missing shots. I thought the shot selection was good. We got great shots. Guys just missed them, which happens early in the season. And it's going to happen all night. Like as I told the team after the game, is a good basketball team picks each other up. When somebody's having a tough night, as long as they're taking shots that are in the flow, I'm fine with it. And I think in the second half, we started making some easier opportunities for ourselves. But again, I wasn't alarmed that it was tied. I wasn't alarmed we were down. You just got to play. You just got to keep playing and do what you can do. It's not going to be, you're not coming out. Nobody's scared of you. Portland plays in some great environments. Again, because I've seen some of them. They play at BYU in front of 25,000. They play at Gonzaga in front of 16,000. They play in a very good league, and they're very competitive. So I knew it was going to be a good basketball game. And last year it was a 3-point game at the half. So I think it's the same type of game. And in the second half, these guys imposed their will, and that's what I'm proud about. Proud of, I should say. I'm sorry.
And then as far as defense goes, what did you think of the turnaround in the second half, holding to 19 points?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we kept them off the foul line. And we did a much better job in transition defense. We have done a really good job up until today in the first half of transition defense, and they had 12 transition points, including the first 6 or 7 of the game. So that was uncharacteristic of us, so we had to fix that. And we did a good job in the second half of that. And I thought we did a much better job guarding one-on-one about 5 or 6 feet from the rim. And I think what happened when you're in the right positions, you make steals. We didn't get great turnovers out of our press. We had a few, but not as much as we would like. But we were really fundamental in the second half, being in the right spots, and that's how we made plays.
You touched on getting to the free throw line. It took a long time for you guys even to get to the free throw line for the first time. That kind of coupled with maybe the lack of interior presence right away. What did you guys do to correct that?
Well, I think we talked about it at halftime. I thought we were settling for post-up position at about 12 feet when we could have had 6 feet post-ups. And in the second, and some of it, Reggie was in foul trouble and couldn't play a lot in the first half. And I think our defense, Walt didn't play a lot in the first half. He got in foul trouble. And the other guys did a great job stepping in for him. But Walt kind of is one of our catalysts on defense. And Reggie obviously is our most interior-minded player on offense. So not having those 2 guys in, I think, took away from a little bit of that. Again, we've got to do a better job of not fouling so quickly in the beginning of the game.
DJ, you were You played with a grit, with aggression, with an edge in the first half. Did you sense that guys were still kind of staring at the crowd and the atmosphere and dealing with all that first game kind of stuff and wanted to kind of make sure things didn't get away from you guys in the first 20 minutes?
No, I was just trying to make plays. I was just trying to give up whatever the defense gave me. They kind of went under the first couple of possessions. They went under, so I just, me and coach been working on it, so I just stepped up and, knocked the shot down.
There was that flurry right at the end of the first half. Did you sense that was an important time to if not get even, to make it a one-possession game before halftime? You had the steal, they had the layup, and there was that big momentum switch right before the break.
Yeah, at the media timeout, coach told us, let's make our run right here, and we turned it up on defense, and we just got to make a couple big plays towards the end.
TJ, you talk about the emotions of it. Is it tough to balance that? You remember last year, you had your good coach, big crowd. Was it tough just to kind of balance it all out today? And season opener thrown in that.
After the first, 4-minute war, it's back to playing ball. It's them versus us, and just block all that out and just come out trying to get the win.
What did you see as the difference maybe in that second half? What maybe kind of 21-4 run to start that half? Was it defense that really kind of?
Yeah, we just kept them off the foul line and guarded better.
Did you say the same thing, Nick? That second half, you guys just 33 points I think in the first half, 19 in the second or something like that. Defensively, you guys really seemed like you kind of got in a groove and got synced in there.
Yeah, it was just about getting back to the fundamentals. Like Coach said, our one-on-one defense really improved. I think interiorly and on the perimeter, we kept them off the foul line, tried to stop easy scores. I think we rebounded a little better as well, so didn't give them too many second opportunities.
It's nice to be finally back in this playing games that count again.
Yeah, it was good.
Coach, can you talk about your confidence in the bench? You guys outscored them 29-11. Just talk about the production.
Yeah, I see it every day. We've got really competitive kids, and I think each one of them is going to play a valuable role in the success of this basketball team, and on different nights, on different days. But I do think that those guys, they bring energy. I think they understand what they can do to impact the game, and it's probably a little bit harder for those guys because they're getting into the game. These guys start the game, so they get into the flow a little bit easier. But to come off the game and handle that kind of emotion, come off the bench rather than handle that kind of emotion, I think it's a tough haul for those guys. But I thought every one of them, contributed positively as the game went on, and it's just going to continue to help develop our basketball team because, you're not going to be able to weather the storms that we're going to have and not have productivity off the bench, both offensively and defensively. And we have to keep developing that and let them play through some mistakes, keep teaching, keep learning, and have them keep understanding how valuable they are to the success of the team.
Coach, have you ever coached in a home environment like you did today?
Home environment?
Yeah.
Not with that many people, no. I've never coached in a building that was this big.
Well, what was that like for you? Did you have butterflies at all before you?
It was, when they play that song before and everybody's jumping, I was kind of getting a little jumpy myself. I kind of like that. What's that word? Power? Yeah, what's that song? I could have snuck into the Ozone and bounced around with those guys a little bit. I told the Ozone after the game, I think that, the band, they're in mid-season form, the Ozone in mid-season form, we just got to catch up, and we will.
Coach, you play these things out in your head, like season opening games. How much did this mirror what you wanted to see?
It's hard to do that, but the final score was nice. At times in the first half, I was wearing it. I was, hoping I was going to be able to have dinner in this town tonight. But I have so much confidence in this team, and I think the one thing that they'll see from me is that I very rarely get rattled. I very rarely. I try to. They see me get rattled, and I think they're going to panic. And I didn't, because I have confidence in what they're doing. I watch them every day. I know what we're capable of doing. If it doesn't start out that way, we just got to get them back on track. And, we've got some great senior leadership. We've got experienced guys. And as long as we continue to respond the way we've responded, that's all a coach can ask for. Okay, there's going to be some obstacles. What's the response? Do you go in the hole, or do you play? And I kind of grabbed Evo before we went to the locker room at halftime. Said, okay, that 20 minutes is gone. You don't ever get it back. You got 20 minutes left now to go play the way you're capable of playing, the way you know you can play. And I thought he did a good job. He got a couple easy buckets and played.
Did you have to say much at halftime, or with this such a veteran team, they just know they had to come out?
You got. They're looking for you to say something. They'd be nervous if I went in and said absolutely nothing. So there's always things you point out, and they're mostly small things. There's certain things that we chart during the game. And for example, at halftime, the big thing I pointed out, we only had one stop, score, and stop. And that's why we chart it, because that's how you build leads. That's how you separate yourself from the other team. And it was evident in the numbers. I mean, we were turning them over, but we weren't scoring. And then we weren't stopping them again. So that's how they got their run. So, it's more of, you got to coach the game as the game's going on. You don't have a preconceived notion of what you're going to say.
You just touched on John Smith and what he means.
I thought John battled tonight. I thought he rebounded the ball extremely well. I didn't see that. No, I don't have that. They took my stats. What did he end up with, 8?
Yeah, 8, 4 blocks, 2 steals.
But I thought he battled. He was playing a 7-foot kid who, was 240 pounds, at 4 feet from the rim. And, with the exception of, I think, of one basket, he did a great job of the game plan of not giving him any angles to score. But, stayed within himself on offense. John's a very smart player. I mean, he's really, you don't appreciate him until you play 5-on-5. When you play 5-on-5, that's when you really get a good feel for John and what he can do.
Is your appreciation grown working with him now closely for a month, or in terms of the grind?
I saw him in the summer. I mean, I saw it in the summer. Like, prior to that, in the spring, I was like, well, let me see what John's got. But then when you go 5-on-5, you can really see that, he understands the game, and, he's our most vocal defender. He's very active on both ends. He blocks some shots, he rebounds. But he very rarely does things he's not capable of doing.
Anything else?
Just one more for Nick. Reggie, really productive both in the post and then kind of mid-range jumpers later in the game. How much easier...
He also ran the point one play. Did you notice that?
I saw that.
That'll be the last time you see it.
How much does that help open up lanes for you, or a guy like you, from beyond the arc there?
I think that's huge for, a guy like me, or just any perimeter guy, to have an inside presence like Reg. It helps our whole team. Not just me, it helps Coop, it helps myself, it helps Walt. It creates driving lines for him and gets me open shots. So I think that's just big for our team, and as long as he continues to, be that force inside, that's just going to continue to help us get better.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Laney?